No. Good evening and welcome to the Tuesday, July 24th, 2018 School Committee meeting. Before we begin the meeting, if we could all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yes. Okay. Thank you all for coming out on this very humid and muggy summer evening. Thank you. It should be a pretty quick meeting. We don't have that much to discuss. But before we get into the normal business, I will make a motion to approve our consent agenda. We have regular session minutes of June 28th, 2018, regular session minutes of July 18th, 2018. We have acceptance of warrants 54P18, 02P19, 04P19, 53V18, 55V18, 01V19, 03V19, and 05V19.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Okay, there's no one in the audience, so there is no one here from the public that would like to talk about the agenda, and that's understandable. I'm sure everyone's home watching. Okay, so we have the year-end financials that we're gonna discuss, so Suzanne is here to talk to us about that.
Yeah,
Thank you, Suzanne.
you're welcome. So I've included in your packet, kind of a memorandum of the final budget, some transfer report, and the general fund report with all the, encumbrances, zeroed out for the year. So, we ended in the general fund with about $124,000, left over. So what was discussed was prepaying some special ed tuitions because for FY19 we had left out a student. So we already knew we were gonna be behind. So we ended up spending, let's see, a little more than 92,000 on, for 3 students, for July and August payments. And the balance was basically left over from some salaries, salary movement, and we had some custodial salary left over because we had someone out on workman's comp this year. And basically that's it. And we did do a transfer of food service too. That was the other thing. And it was, let's see, 31,000 of the director's salary. We moved that into the budget. So, that's really it for the general fund. We didn't really have any end-of-year spending as far as extras or, anything. We didn't do that this year. So, and then we have, the major revolving accounts, the circuit breaker. Obviously, we spent what we received last year, and they did increase the, what they were giving us in the last payment. They went up from 65 to 72%, so we ended up with 47,000 more than we had expected. So that will help us too with the special ed. I did speak with Mr. Tiano yesterday, and he said there is a child on the radar right now that we haven't budgeted for as well, so, it's special ed, we never know.
That's what the money is for.
So there's
Right.
one that we missed for 19.
One that, yes, didn't go into the budget that has since popped up, yep. And then we had left one out that we're having that residency issue with.
Okay.
So we don't know where that's gonna end up.
We still don't know where that's
We
gonna
still
end
don't
up.
know.
Okay.
Yeah, Jack hasn't had the hearing on it. I don't think it'll happen until probably the fall.
Okay.
I guess the good news is the athletic revolving didn't need any,
Yeah, that's help, that's good.
subsidy this year. We had more user fees and less athletic salaries. So we ended up with a balance of 34,800 in the athletic revolving, which is good.
That's interesting, because with 17,000 more in user fees, I remember when we had, like, Guy come to one of the meetings, it was very few, like, the differential was very little in
Right.
terms of.
It was plus
so,
2 minus
yeah,
1.
so maybe kids ended up,
More
participating.
maybe in the spring, and also I think that because Cheryl O'Leary has been so diligent in collecting,
That's great.
and in prior years, we have had a lot of,
Mhm.
parents that haven't paid or whatever, so we don't have any.
Yeah,
We
that's
don't
great.
have one family that didn't
And that's
pay.
great that we didn't have to up the fees.
Right.
Yes. Yep, that is
So-
very good, and, I think the installment is a great option.
Right,
You know, for
exactly.
people, even
Yep.
if, even if you don't necessarily need to do that option, I mean, it's a
Yeah.
great thing to be able to, take advantage of, so that's really good.
And we
Happy to
did
see
have
that.
the banner sales as well, so that's included in that figure.
How many do we have? Do we know about?
I don't know.
Okay,
I've seen
that's
like
fine. I'm just
five.
curious.
Find
Yeah.
out.
I've seen
5 or
like
6.
five
Yeah.
hanging up, and they look really good.
I
It's
think it's a
gonna look.
great idea. I
Me
love-
too. It's gonna
Yeah.
look really good when it is all the way around, if we get to that.
And how
Right.
much do we
But-
get from each banner?
Is it $500?
I think it's 500.
Is that,
The first year, and then.
okay, that I was
Yeah, and
gonna
then
ask,
they
so then
pay-
it's
Then
like,
it's
yeah.
lower.
renew every,
And then it's lower because the first year they have to.
They have to
print it.
buy the banner,
Yeah.
right. So I'm thinking that Ryan will be, trying to get more,
Yeah,
Fill up our
towns.
banner spaces.
Yeah, and
Yes.
get more
Yeah.
banners up there, yeah.
good. He's doing a good job at that.
Let's see, the preschool, we all know that the preschool wasn't gonna do too well. It basically, ended slightly negatively, but hoping with all the decreases we did do, and the tuition increase that, we'll have to see what the coming year brings. I'm not really sure how that's gonna end up. It all depends on, if this is just a blip with the enrollment, or,
Right.
maybe, we'll have more luck next year. I really don't know
I assume
why.
enrollment hasn't changed meaningfully in the last
No,
couple of weeks.
no,
I
which
was
is
hoping that
unfortunate.
Yeah.
I
have
know.
maybe an influx of people coming in.
Right.
have we done any marketing outside of the town, like anything to promote some,
I know, we've
Incoming.
talked about that.
Yeah,
We
we've
do-
talked about
We
that.
definitely
we
think we
talked
need
about
to
it, but
market
have we
it
done anything?
much better.
I don't know that we have done any more.
We did
So it
talk
needs to
about
be
that.
Public
much
relations
better.
or something to sort of get that out there? We did,
Well, I think would be up to Amanda to
Right.
okay.
figure out, but we all know that it needs to be marketed much more.
Right.
Well, the
And
tricky-
earlier next year.
I mean,
Definitely earlier.
thing to me is that, if we're trying to recruit kids to come from other towns, but then we don't have school choice space for them once they hit kindergarten.
But I think that's different because preschools are open to any community.
Right.
And then typically a child will go back to wherever their community, to go through the grades
True.
with their peers,
Well, that's true.
But yeah.
Pearly seems to be a little bit different, where I feel like most of the kids who were in kindergarten this year came from Pearly preschool. And then there were a
Good chunk,
number
yeah.
of other preschools that fed into that
Mhm.
population.
Right.
Um,
I think that too, like Michael has pointed out before, that people, they sign up so early. So like by now,
right.
people are all set.
They
You might get
secure.
them moving in or
Yeah, unless they're moving in, so you might get a couple, but I think you're right, you need to, focus earlier on advertising.
at least
Yeah.
a year in
yeah.
advance.
I'd love to see more advertising with it because, we had to let go of a teacher,
Right.
because of
And a
the
nurse, I believe,
size.
right?
And it's obviously suffering, so,
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be in everyone's best interest, to do whatever they can. Like earlier, really hit hard with the advertisement, all the social media, like Michael has mentioned before. Facebook, and really have to advertise rather than just the sandwich board.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I know, it's
That used to work
2018.
10 years ago, but
Public Relations Committee, we talked about bringing that topic up.
Yeah.
And, possibly bringing in Amanda and brainstorming and just seeing how we could support or be of help. And there's a lot of students that, you know, including students that go to private preschools, you go to a different preschool than you do a kindergarten. I mean, I know the continuity is a good thing, but, you know, many students, many families make the choice to not have that.
Right.
So,
Well, but I
whatever
think
reason.
my point is typically, if kids are going to go to a public school sponsored preschool, they would go to the one in their town, typically, not all the time, clearly, but.
Unless there was something that we offered that was a little bit above and beyond your typical preschool, which would
It
draw
might just
them
be
in.
as simple as advertising in the Newburyport, you know, the Daily News.
Yeah, there was a lot of different.
I don't know, maybe we do that already, I'm not aware, but we can talk about it.
We did secure an extended day person though for the preschool, which is important, because, as you know,
Yeah, the
had
survey.
some changes
Yeah.
this year, so we did get somebody to take that in, cause that's a tough job too, cause you have to be in there in the morning, but then you have to be there in the afternoon.
It's a weird,
It's
Yeah,
a
it's a
weird
weird
setup,
Yeah.
you know, and we can't have somebody all day, cause we can't afford to pay somebody all day, you know, from 6 AM to 6 PM or whatever, so.
that's a long day.
And
if you
reaching
work
out
with
within our
preschool.
own
Yeah.
community is
Well, it would be
obviously
overtime.
Well,
something
yeah.
you could do.
So, let's see, school choice, we ended up, you know, okay with that, we have some money there, we didn't have anybody graduate, and we opened up 15 slots, and I think we still have 9 confirmed, right? Checked with Nancy, and, so there's still 6 open, and we had 2 12th graders.
From budget perspective, and I meant to ask this before, did we budget for an extra 75 in revenue for the 15 kids? Are we in trouble because we're only at 9, is really what I'm asking.
I would think so.
I don't think so, because we really didn't put anything on there other than the teachers that have been there.
Right, okay.
So I think
We
we're
didn't add
okay.
anything this year.
No, we
We
didn't
tried
add
to
anything.
minimize what was
Yeah,
on
we did,
there.
we did. And last year we had the NEASC on there, but,
And curriculum was on there,
well, we
which
ended,
came off at the end.
yes,
but
it
yeah,
came off
but
at the
yeah.
end, right.
Now,
Okay.
when you say 12th graders, what is that?
I guess apparently there was a couple of 11th graders, for whatever reason, where their residency was changing, and they approached, the superintendent and asked her if they could stay for their senior year. So she approved that as school
And
choice.
she does usually allow that to happen,
Yeah.
because it's hard to go to another school in 12th grade. You
Right.
know, you're trying to get
Sure.
college.
Oh, yeah, no, I
Yeah.
was picturing 12th graders coming in for the first time. and I thought
Yeah,
that
no,
doesn't
no,
sound-
So at
they've
least we,
been here.
but we do get paid the 10,000
They are,
still
yep,
comes.
they're
Okay.
school choice, yep,
Okay.
yep.
Okay, that's good.
The extended days, you know, continues to do pretty well, and we have another increase next year. You know, I think that they'll be fine too. She would love to see us get some, invoicing software, because she has so many kids over there. And we had talked about maybe doing like the NutriKids or the fax this year, and
Mhm.
she was a little disappointed that we didn't do that, but.
Yeah, I know, how much is that roughly? I know,
I've-
putting you on the
I
spot.
don't, yeah, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but,
But it must be hard to.
she has a lot of kids that she has to invoice
Yeah,
for and
it
then
must be.
track, and so, yeah, I mean, I sympathize with her.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we have school lunch. So school lunch was the, really the bane of my existence this year.
Can I just ask you a question, Suzanne, before we
Yeah.
get to that?
Sure.
Did we, has the increase been communicated?
Yes. Carol put it in her blog. I believe it went on Facebook. It's on all the school websites.
Okay.
So yes, it was definitely communicated right after you guys approved it.
Oh, yeah, I do remember reading.
Yep.
And to families from,
Yes, yep. They were gonna send out emails and I think Margaret was gonna put it in her
Mhm.
notes, whatever she sent out.
Right.
It was prior to the kids leaving.
Good.
So.
Okay, so sorry, school
That's
lunch.
okay, school lunch, so we did end up moving some of the food service director's salary, into budget this year. Kinda went back and forth with Michael a little bit today about this. You know, bad debt is supposed to be covered by law, so we had to cover that, which was the 3,600, which is a lot less than it was when I first started here.
It's actually come down a lot, that's great, I appreciate all the work that people are doing for that.
I know.
You know, trying to collect the bad not to mention all the very generous,
Right.
community members that
I know.
have given us
Exactly.
money.
Yep.
Very nice.
And we have really been diligent about contacting people, but this last bit is really, you know, I just don't see,
Is
it's
this
old. It
So
is.
this is not like.
It's not new, no,
Yeah, okay.
it's old.
And this total figure includes almost $13,000 of money on account.
Right.
So that's really
So that's really not
nothing. That's
our,
really not
our money.
our money.
No.
That's the students' money.
Exactly, it's the family's money,
Right.
so.
And luckily, they didn't all ask for it back.
And they
I
could,
mean, they could have,
you know,
yeah.
and they could,
I just,
But-
you know,
could
and
have
I
always
just
done that in
wanted
the
my,
past, but
I
we
just
could do
wanted
it.
myself
Mhm.
to
Right.
start
Last
the
year or
year
two.
off with some
Exactly.
money in the account, so I don't have to,
Yeah, right,
he
worry
doesn't have
about
to
it.
worry about that on top of
Mhm.
everything else for the first few days.
and this balance did not include, which I left off in error, but it was, we did receive about $8,000 in the June state receipt in July, so the balance is actually, 34,837. So, when you take off the prepays and the bad debt, it leaves about $16,000 for, Sean to start up. I did speak with him today, he told me that it probably will be 12 to 13,000 in September to get both schools up and running,
Wow.
food, you know,
So that's gonna be
supplies.
really
So
low.
that's right there.
So, I mean,
But they start paying on day one.
exactly, exactly, so.
And we're not buying any capital stuff this year.
Yeah,
No, we have nothing, we have no investments,
good.
going in there.
Last year was enough.
Yes, it was a lot. So, anybody have any other questions or anything?
No, I hate to say this. I'm not gonna say it. No, looks good.
Okay, all right,
At preschool, just,
I know. We'll have to try to get ahead of that this year, I think,
yeah, I know.
this year.
When do people normally, like, what are the other preschools start advertising, or do they know by like February? So they start advertising in like November?
No, they start probably February advertising.
Well, PW was more, I wanna say it's more in January, cause they filled up
Like.
by February,
Yeah.
and they were,
Like right after the
Really
holidays, I would
quick.
say.
Yeah.
Earlier.
Yeah,
yeah,
we're
December,
gonna have-
January, somewhere in there.
Yeah,
But they filled up very, very quickly,
Yeah.
the last 2 years.
we're gonna have to see about just the timeline, like,
Exactly.
Amanda to let me know what the
Actually, my
timeline
sister-in-law
is.
just started working for a preschool at North Andover, and she had, you know, so she'll have some information for
Yeah.
me about that.
Yeah, anything is helpful.
I will need you to vote the transfers though.
Yep. And is the transfer the 170,496.34?
Yes, yes.
That's the correct amount? Does anybody wanna talk about anything on here? Everybody good? Okay, I will make a motion to approve, line item transfer in the total amount of $170,496.34 as presented by Suzanne.
So moved?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you very much. I like your, synopsis of things. It makes it easier than going through this,
Yes.
because I
Love
really
that.
don't
Yeah.
like going through that.
Thank you.
Numbers are intimidating to me.
No, and
Well, there's just so much to
Yeah, I
go
know.
through, and if it's
The only one, yeah, Michael's good
Consolidated.
at it, but I
Well, and they're all without context too, so it's not, it's a line item, but it doesn't say why it's moving. or-
Right, exactly.
I like your focus on the revolving accounts, which is, I've said before, that's our most vulnerable area of the budget, so we need to keep a sharp eye on those.
And she does.
Yes.
Okay, and then we have our, technology acceptable use policy that, the changes that we had asked to just take out a few specific, words in there, and, I thought that it looked good. Did everybody review it? It's very, comprehensive.
Yes.
Right, I
very
don't
in-depth.
really think it doesn't leave anything out. I mean, anything could happen that, you can't have everything specific, but I was very impressed with, what Liz, put together for this.
I mean, the most recent concern that I had about technology acceptable use is just the unauthorized use of Snapchat. I heard can be disturbing, but this policy addresses it very well, very clearly.
Oh, what, like Snapchat during school,
During
you're saying?
school,
And,
yes.
yeah, and
Yes.
the photos and
It's
videos,
completely
yeah.
Inappropriate and.
Yeah, we just
Should
have
not
to make sure
happen.
that
Has to be monitored.
right,
Yeah.
that if anybody does, see that going on, that they immediately,
Speak up
cause the
and-
kids need to know that if it continues, that it could end up being like a no
It's
phone policy.
bad digital citizenship.
it is.
It's not a good choice.
But I
Without-
still
you know,
think
without
some
Right.
type of
consent.
digital citizenship should be taught at the schools, so they're all on the same page, they all have a general understanding of what good digital citizenship means.
Definitely.
Did you have a
definitely.
specific program that you mentioned, or?
I sent it to Carol,
Oh,
I
okay.
sent her
Oh,
information.
The one that your
Oh.
district uses, really?
great. That's awesome. Thank
Yeah,
you.
that is
That
good.
sounds good.
It was mostly like a PDP class for, a bunch of teachers to take and then disseminate that information. But it was putting things together, learning where to get the information, how to get it, and then to teach it back out to the students. So I sent it to her, so hopefully she'll look at it and create something from
Yeah.
that, or Colin could create something from it.
Right, yeah, that's good.
Great.
Thank you for sending that.
Officer Henry did a couple sessions last year on, not digital
Yes.
citizenship, but like of
Yeah, the
sharing.
do's and
the
don'ts
do's and
and-
don'ts.
Right.
And, yeah, which I think was.
And
it
he's
seemed it was
definitely
well received.
Sexting and.
He's definitely had to
Those
deal
things.
with situations, so I know the students know that there is, when you do this, and
There
you
are
get-
consequences.
And he's
Exactly.
spoken to
So
all
you
the
would hope
grades
that
about
would-
it.
It's all about leaving your digital footprint, and what does that mean?
Well,
Yeah.
look what happened recently with that Major League Baseball player. Did you guys hear about that gentleman? Hayter, I think was his name, but,
Yeah.
24, 25-year-old MLB pitcher that when he was 17, he, he tweeted some things that were not nice, and they, reappeared just
Surfaced back?
within this
Sure.
last week, and his defense is, well, I was only 17, but, in hindsight, he was 18 when he was in the MLB, so, 17 isn't, you're old enough at 17 to know
know.
right from wrong, you're not 9, 10, so it is, these kids need to know that
It's permanent.
put it there, it will resurface, and probably at the worst time, so.
Yeah.
I just hope they understand it, it's totally different, world out there with social media,
Yes.
so. Okay,
Great policy.
do we?
I know it took you guys a long time to
Vote
put
on
this
this?
together.
Yeah, we have to vote on this, but do we have the policy number? That's okay, I'll just,
You can grab it quickly if.
Is it?
do you know it?
I can't get on the internet here on the box.
No,
It's not letting me.
It says that it was revised and adopted in June, but that we still.
That was the
have
last draft.
yeah,
You
that
know,
was the draft that we went over. Well, I'll say,
Yeah, there's no internet connection, so I can't get it.
can you get on?
Yeah, through my,
Okay, let's wait a second, see if we can get it.
It's not on here at all.
talk
You know
amongst
where,
yourselves.
where it might be? In the email of the last school packet,
Oh.
the orange notes
Right.
Yeah.
would have it.
Which I might have in my bag.
Yeah, that could be where it is.
It's got everything in there.
So our next meeting too will include the school tours, so I'll send out an email soon,
Did we set the
asking. Yeah, I'll send out an email soon. August 30th,
I believe so.
with, the,
Gotta put that in.
Yeah.
IJNDB.
IJNDB.
Mhm.
Great, thank you. So yes, the next school committee meeting is the 30th. We're gonna be here at 6:30, but the school tours will start at 5:45. Just so we will have enough time to go through them. So I'll send out an email, seeing where you prefer to go. Thank you for looking at that. So I will make a motion to approve the Georgetown Public Schools Technology Acceptable Use Policy, IJNDB, as presented.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Great, motion carries on that. Okay, and that's all that we have for business here. I do just wanna take a moment to, say that Jan McBrain is leaving. Friday, I think, is her last day. She's been the clerk here at Town Hall for so long, has done an amazing job for this town, so I really wanna wish her the very best. I'm sure she's gonna enjoy retirement. She has the grandchildren that she can keep her eye on, so that's good, and I'm sure the town hall will be in good hands with whoever they put in place until next May, when the election is for the new clerk.
Oh, I
So-
love Jan, she's been so
Yeah, she's been great.
helpful throughout the years. I thought she was retiring in August. Did that
August
happen?
1st.
Yeah, but she had some vacation time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
Alrighty.
Friday was her last, this Friday will be her last day.
Oh, okay, I
Yeah.
should go in.
I know, yeah. Anyone wants to go in
I
or
thought
send
they
her
were
a note?
having something.
But Fridays they're
Saw
closed.
something.
Yeah,
I saw an
probably.
email.
You
I don't
did.
know, I forget
They,
though.
I think they are, yeah.
Be good. She deserves something because
Yeah,
she
it's
has
in
been
August, it's
Is it?
amazing.
week.
Yeah.
I saw
of
something.
the 17th or something.
Hope it's not a surprise.
She doesn't
So again, I just wanna wish her the best. I'm
Doesn't
sure
want
she's
anything
gonna
big.
do good. Yeah, I know. Jan's so good. She just kinda does her thing and doesn't wanna have any accolades or anything, right? So
celebration or
she does a great
recognition
job.
what she's done, and she's super.
Yeah,
We're
she
very
is.
fortunate to have her.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting at 7:01 PM, and I wish everyone a very safe and wonderful rest of the summer.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Great, thank you, good night.